The Book of Boba Fett, Episode 4, is now out on Disney Plus for you guys to go and check out. I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on this episode, but let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down in the comments below. Let's get a discussion going. Smash that like button for me and click subscribe as well, so you don't miss any other videos. And without further ado, let's jump into this review of Episode 4 of the Book of Boba Fett.
Speak freely.
Okay, so the Book of Boba Fett Episode 4. Look, the first two episodes absolutely loved. Thought they were really, really good. I love the character development we were getting with Boba Fett and the Sand People. What was happening with all that stuff. Really, really enjoyed all that. Episode 3 was a bit of a letdown for me. I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a letdown. There was so many things that happened in that episode that I wasn't really fond of and that worked for me. Especially like the whole gang that weren't scared of Boba or anything like that, or just the way that they were, the car chase sequence just did not work for me at all. But I was going to give it a benefit of doubt because I liked the first two episodes, didn't like the third one, so I was like, episode 4, maybe it's a step up. And it is a step up from the previous episode. I did enjoy this episode quite a lot. Now, majority of this episode is a flashback sequence again, as we see Boba in the Bacta tank again, healing his injuries and getting that flashback. But this time, the flashback is all about him getting the Slave One back. And yes, I'm going to call it the Slave One because that's what its name is. Its name is Slave One. I don't care what they rename it. I don't care what is whole thing about the name or anything like that. It is the Slave One to me, and it will always be the Slave One. And so this episode is all about him getting that back. And we also get to see how he finds Fennec Shand as well. How she is saved, how what Boba actually did to save her life, which I thought makes sense to how she would be saved, because remember, she said that Boba saved her and she had the cybernetic stuff, but now we get to see why and how, and it comes back to that whole people are starting to modify themselves by putting cybernetics onto them to enhance themselves, their sight, hearing, and all that stuff. And we get to see that firsthand here. So that all made sense to me, and I was going along, and I like the building blocks of the relationship between these two. Boba obviously knows who she is, and she even says, isn't Boba dead, so how can you be Boba? But it is, and he explains that to her, that he's alive still, and he's come back from the dead, from the Sarlacc pit, because everyone thinks Boba Fett is dead right now. But he's not, obviously. But we get to see him, and he's obviously got a vendetta now against the people that killed his family, basically, the Tusken Raiders, that he needs to get revenge on them, but he obviously needs his ship first, and that is his main goal in this whole stuff. So we see him go and check out, scout everything, see how many guards there are that are at Jabba's palace, and then he sees the Slave One in there, so he's gonna go get it. They devise a plan, and the action is pretty cool as well. Shan is absolutely a beast throughout this whole episode. She's the star. She absolutely annihilates all of the guards, basically. She's taking them out left, right, and center. There's this cute robot that's going to make some people pretty like, oh my god, that robot's so adorable. But they get the Slave One, and then they go to the Sarlacc pit because they need to get his armor. Now, we all know that the Jawas took his armor. He still thinks he's in there because remember, he was unconscious when they took it off him. So, I guess, but I thought he might have been awake at first when they were taken off and then knocked him out. I don't know. I guess maybe he was thinking it was a dream or whatnot. Maybe he thinks he's still in there. But anyway, so he goes in there. There is this scary moment where they're looking in there through the ship and the Sarlacc comes out. That was scary. I mean, it was a good jump scare. But that was all great as well. And then he obviously thinks the armor's not there now because he goes in there after we get that awesome moment where she presses the button and drops the, what is it, the seismic bomb, I think it's called, where it drops in, and dude, I tell you what, that sound is so incredible, the boom, and then just, I remember that from Attack of the Clones where Jango Fett was dropping that, like, it just sounds so good, that sound, I love that sound, and we see that, kills the Sarlacc, he goes in, no armor, so he's then like, okay, well, I've got to go take care of some business, and we get to see vintage Boba here, where he is just slaughtering those bikie gang people, absolutely just slaughtering them. for fun in his ship. Just the slave ones coming in. You see it come into the shot and just boo, 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 just destroyed all of them. I love that. Absolutely love that. We get to see Boba at his best. And then it obviously cuts to him sitting on the throne and that. And then he wakes up from the back of the tank. So I don't think we're going to get any more flashbacks now. I think all that flashback stuff is done. I like the relationship that they created between Boba and Shand. I think that really, really worked. It makes me care about the relationship. It makes me understand why she would work for him and why he wants to save her and that. And I like their discussions that they're having. So when he wakes up, obviously he then goes to see the guy, the Wookiee, the person, the Crescendo, I think his name is, if I'm correct. Hopefully I pronounced that right. They go to see him, and he's at the bar, and he's just wrecking these fools out of nowhere, just ripping it. And then obviously the Twi'lek lady comes in and says, "Look, I'll take your dead off if you don't dismember him." And next thing you know, it's a freaking Wookiee. We all know what Wookiees are like. Just rips his arm off, and I'm just like, that's insane, man. That's insane. That's awesome. And anyway, so he's now working for Boba. I kind of predicted that would happen, that he would come and work for Boba. I kind of got that. And then obviously he gets all the heads around the table and he starts discussing with them that the Pikes are taking over. He wants to take the Pikes out. So he wants to make a deal with all of them. And they're like, why should we believe you? I mean, it's Boba Fett, so you kind of got to have that fear instill in you. But they don't. And then next thing you know, the creature, they're having dinner on top of the creature, and the creature comes through, and they're like, oh, okay. So they accept terms, and then we get the shot where he's on top of Jabba's palace explaining, like, they're not fools. They know that the Pikes are going to take over and stuff like that. So he's praying on them not to turn on him, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But then Shan also says to him, do you have credits, right? And we can buy muscle with that. And I tell you what, I'm wondering, this is just a theory. They played the Mandalorian theme when she said that. I wonder if Mando's going to show up in these last two episodes. I wonder if Mando's going to come, or even Bo-Katan, or anyone like that. I just think, why would you play that Mando theme right there? That's got to be a hint to Mando coming, right? I'm surely I'm not the only one thinking that. Because I was like, oh my god, is she calling Mando? Because if she is, man, I'm going to gas out over that. That'd be so cool. Because Boba did help Mando. So it would be only right that Mando would come and help Boba as well. So I'm super excited if they are. If they don't, then that's cool. But I wonder who she's going to get. Are we going to get some other classic bounty hunters to come and help? There's so many possibilities now. But I just think hearing that Mando theme, I got a feeling we're going to see Mando, and it would make sense to having Mando come in as well. So, but I'm super, super excited for the next episode. I like this episode quite a lot. Enjoyed it. I think now all the backstory stuff is gone. I think we're now focusing on the war with the Pikes, the big battle, and are we going to see Mando? That's the big question. Who else could we see that they're going to bring in as well? Is there some classic bounty hunters? Maybe someone that we all know. Two of them, maybe. Could Cad Bane be one? Don't know. There is another one that I'm thinking of that could be in there as well. Possibly. I don't know. But let me know in the comments below. What are your theories? What did you think of this episode? Do you think we're going to see any of those people or someone else? I want to know. Smash that like button for me. Click subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.